Everybody, how you doing? Hope you're keeping well. Welcome to the SimHanger. My name's Mark and let's get started. And in this video I'm going to share my thoughts and opinions and views with you on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Although I've expressed some views and opinions in the past in previous videos, by and large I've been keeping my powder dry, waiting for the dust to settle, if you will. The views expressed in this video are obviously my personal opinion, and I'm talking to you not as a YouTube content creator, but as a dedicated flight sim enthusiast. I'm not going to dwell on the launch. The Microsoft Flight Simulator team have apologized. Time to move on from that. What I am going to focus on is the current state of the sim and where we could be heading next, which at the end of the day is the most important aspect for most of us. From the time that Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 was launched, one of the key objectives was to create a 3D digital twin of our world, and this new version of the sim, well, it takes us just that one step closer. There's no question that our digital world is now more believable, with varied foliage and seasons, an environment that reacts to what's around us, and 3D textured objects from grass to buildings to mountains. And by and large, the world they've created, well, it's beautiful, and at times the advancement is surprising, so much so it can take your breath away, and holds immense promise of things to come. Many of the aspects have enhanced animations and added features such as the ability to walk around, missions, and the ability to embark on your own personal journey to enhance your skills through career mode. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is an assembly of different elements, from careers and missions, core sim itself, aircraft modeling, flight dynamics, peripheral configuration, and the list goes on. And when you take a step back just for a moment and look at each individual element, it's clear a lot of thought has gone into it, and by and large, those individual elements have been expertly crafted. And it's exactly here, with all the various elements and how they interact with each other, that things start to become unraveled, in a bid to deliver a product within a limited and restricted time frame. And as the intended launch date grew ever closer, well, it became mission impossible, and shortcuts had to be taken. There was, as we're all aware, no beta test for the sim, and the reason can only be absolute arrogance on behalf of the developer, but I doubt that was the case. It was a matter there was no time to do a beta test, and I personally believe my view is reinforced by the number of hotfixes and patches that are not only designed to address the more complex issues, but some of the raw basics within the sim. There are many examples of things that worked in the previous sim that are not functioning now. The harsh reality of the situation is, yes, we are the beta testers right now. And I don't believe anybody can argue with me on that point. Just take a look at the release notes associated with the recent patch and try and count the number of times it says fixed. I tried that, but I gave up at over 200. And yet basic issues still persist. Preset weathers don't hold and go back to clear. Profile following is inconsistent. Wake turbulence is, well, I don't know where it is. The VR toolbar, well, like the mouse, it's missing in action half the time. And yes, like me, you can feel very frustrated. It's all too easy for us all to throw our toys out the cot. But at the end of the day, that doesn't really solve anything. But if you're aware of an issue, let them know. Get on their forums and make your point. I think it's really important we tell them what's wrong so they can fix it. I have to say that I would very much like to see some of the bigger channels, particularly the streamers and entertainers, making more noise about the state of the sim so it's heard by Microsoft Flight Simulator team. The reality of the situation is they will pay little attention to channels such as myself, as well as many others of course, as we tend to be considerably smaller and tucked away in the engine room, as I like to call it, providing support directly to the community. The bottom line is, of course, well, the sim is broken, and a lot more work needs to be done and quickly. But going back to where I started, we have before us a flight simulation platform unequal to any other that holds massive potential. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 by any standard was a roaring success, and it owes its success not just to its 3D world, but at its core it was a flight simulation platform that created a believable environment. The new sim version falls into exactly the same category, but our digital world becomes less and less believable if we spend our time trying to find workarounds to things that should be operating properly but don't. However, what is done is done. What really is important is what happens next, and how quickly we can overcome some of the basic problems that we're experiencing. And I just hope lessons have been learned from 2020. I think I speak on behalf of many flight simmers when I say we don't want sim updates, we don't want world updates, we don't want this enhancement or that enhancement. What we want is fix what's broken. The bells and whistles can come later. This is a new sim with new experiences and new opportunities ahead of us. But let's learn to walk before we run. We'll all benefit from that. At the end of the day, I have confidence in the team that they will deliver, and I'm sticking with 2024 for now. And let's hope we also see the marketplace back in place very soon, as we need to spare a thought to the other side of things, the developers, third-party developers that also support the sim and make it what it is. Their inability to earn revenue right now, overall and in the long term, is not a good thing. Well, there you have it. That's my personal opinion laid on the table. What is yours? Let me know in the comments below, but please keep them civil. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you found it informative. Stay well, look after yourself. See you again soon, and ciao for now.